A forceful political takeover of a toll booth on an important road in the central region is affecting business and government in more ways than one.
The Assin Praso toll booth was taken over more than 2 weeks ago by persons believed to be supporters of the New Patriotic Party. The incident is one of several by over-enthusiastic NPP supporters seeking to avenge similar takeovers by supporters of the National Democratic Congress when they won power back in 2008. Correspondent Richard Kojanyako has been observing the development and has filed the following report.
The Cape Coast Assin Praso Highway is one of the busiest roads in the country. Tens of thousands of motorists use this road on a daily basis. On this road, the toll booth that collects tolls has ceased functioning. A group of persons perceived to be NPP supporters about a fortnight ago forcefully took over the management of the toll booth. A day after the forceful seizure, the group ran out of tickets and has not collected tolls from motorists thereafter. The supervisor that is expected to get them more tickets to use is refusing to do so because he is angered by how the takeover of the management of the toll booth was done. The motorists have a field day now. They have been spared the payment of tolls. Traders that sell around the toll booth are incensed. The motorists that hitherto stopped to pay their tolls and patronize the foodwares or food items of these traders no longer stop because there is toll free. They are accusing the NDC operators of the toll booth of hiding the tickets and allowing the current situation to happen, and want government to do something about the situation so the toll booth can function again.
Kennedy, and as a bedra, Mona one person from Nancy from Namfedi Pamela. Now I said, Cabia free, Cabia free. Abra, Dakukra, Scow Munian, yet I could what. One by and take it to Amadima or Martin by Uncle Dama, and good Dama, I was one young good Dambobia. What does sound no man yadico? Baby Obia, Gana Mahanoa, and perform Mran, Kofadamara, no my uncle Jaffa Mana, Fagana by one young fan with the young fan with you.
Meanwhile, dozens of persons mass up in front of the offices of the Ghana Highway Authority to be recruited to take over the management of the toll booth in the central region. Richard Kojanyako, Joy News, Cape Coast.
And it is also reported that it's not only the takeover of toll booths, but also the bloody attacks on school feeding program caterers across the country by supporters of the governing NPP, and these are said to be wreaking havoc across Ghana.
They're bent on attacking and seizing public installations they claim are being manned by supporters of the previous government. The attacks have attracted swift reactions from many respected individuals in society, including the chairman of the National Peace Council, Most Reverend Emmanuel Asante. There's, however, concern about the president's loud silence on the matter. Here's a News Desk report.
It's been a month of attacks, sometimes bloody, across Ghana. The Tema toll booth, the Ratri Park in Kumasi, the passport office in Accra, and recently, a Jurassic Dumasi in the Ashanti region, where school feeding caterers, perceived to be supporters of the NDC, were wounded and chased out of a school. Some of the teachers suffered various injuries. The result is many of the children would no longer go to school for fear of being attacked again.
And around the nation. Meanwhile,
post-election protests may be normal, but our political actors handle them matters. After the recent U.S. elections, the winner, President-elect Donald Trump, called his supporters to order.
I'm very surprised to hear that. I hate to hear that. I am so saddened to hear that, and I say stop it. If it helps, I will say this, and I'll say it right to the camera, stop it.
A similar violent situation is playing out in Ghana. The situation has reached a point where highly respected individuals in the society are demanding that the president, Akufo-Addo, calls his supporters to order.
He's in an extraordinary situation.
Emmanuel Akwete of IDEG.
He's the president, okay, and therefore he carries a certain authority now, inspirationally, morally, and so on, apart from being the president with enormous powers. And I think a clear language that says this is not tolerable.
Chairman of the Peace Council, Most Reverend Emmanuel Asante, is worried about the state of affairs.
One would expect that we will see political leadership in this matter. That a strong statement. I want to believe that a strong statement coming from the president or from the presidency would do a lot of good.
And the call to action being demanded from the president may just be in order because he was swift in condemning similar reported attacks on his supporters prior to the election.
The rapid apprehension and prosecution of members of the ruling party who have been responsible for the recent violence against members of the NPP in Esutifi South, a constituency represented in Parliament by a cabinet minister, will be one such measure.
Even chiding then President Mahama and the security agencies for not acting.
And there are increasingly loud calls for peace. It's because the government has not tried to build any confidence measures to assure the citizens that the security agencies have a free hand to do their work in an impartial manner. Many people do not feel that the security agencies are currently party colorblind.
Now the tables have turned. Nana Akufo-Addo is in power.
That I will preserve,
protect, and defend the Constitution,
of the Republic of Ghana.
So help me God.
After his inauguration, the president has delivered a series of speeches at various public events across the country. But in all these, there has been no word on the violent attacks by his supporters. Nay, rather, it's been talk about patriotism.
What we have to do is to make sure that the beliefs that we have impact on us in our everyday life.
And agriculture.
Agriculture continues to be the anchor of the country's economy, employing almost half of our workforce. However, in the last few years, growth in this sector has declined dramatically.
And now, the opposition NDC is warning of retaliation, which could disrupt the peace being enjoyed by Ghanaians.
We are calling on civil society, religious bodies, the media, and the international community not to blame the NDC if the unacceptable conduct of Akufo-Addo's invisible forces leads to reprisal attacks.
Nana Akufo-Addo must not only act, he must be seen to be acting. Fifi Kumsen, Joy News, Accra.
And political science lecturer at the University of Ghana is also asking President Akufo-Addo to openly condemn the state of violent takeovers by alleged supporters of his party.
Professor Ransford Jampo said the public condemnation will send a clear signal to the supporters that the election victory was only a change in government and not an overthrow of a government. He was commenting on the violent attacks on opponents of the NDC and other public institutions across the country when he spoke to Joy News.
This typifies one of the very crude manifestations of winner takes all politics, where people, particularly party apparatchiks, try to interpret this formula for selecting leaders in its literal sense. So as in we won elections, and so we must take everything that goes with power, including the very negative and divisive practices that is going on. Again, those who are very much aware of the rationale, the spirit behind the drafting of the 2012 Presidential Transition Act know that it was because of acts like these that led to the drafting of the act, because prior to the act, people could not distinguish between a change of government and an overthrow of government. What is going on typifies a situation where there is an overthrow of government, as if we're in a military junta. And I am very much aware of the calls that have been made on the part of the leadership of the New Patriotic Party to openly come out to condemn some of these things and to empower the police, to be able to do what's expected of them. But and I agree with those making that calls. And it is important to note that sometimes political leaders haven't benefited from much goodwill from their own party supporters, find it a bit difficult. I'm expecting President Akufo-Addo to do to come out openly to condemn, but he must also take note of the fact what sometimes politicians fail to know is that you may have others from the opposing side also cashing in to be doing some of these things just to make the government look unpopular. And so to prevent being also linked and being made to look as if you are violent, it's important that they come out openly and clearly to make a pronouncement against what is going on.
Professor Ransford Jampo, a senior lecturer at the Political Science Department of the University of Ghana. Now let's look at this. One person is being treated for gunshot wounds after he was hit by a stray bullet fired as musketry at the funeral of the late Queen Mother of Ashanti that is underway in Kumasi took place.
The incident has got medical personnel deployed at the funeral grounds worried about the use of live ammunition. Doctors say the 30-year-old man currently on admission at the Komfo-Anokye Teaching Hospital will require surgery to correct a compound fracture he suffered, which has left him with the skin of the affected leg completely opened. Coordinator of the team, Dr. Alberta Brichum-Nyako, says though the chiefs have been advised against the use of live ammunition, some continue to flout that directive. There's more in this report found by Ohime Interior.
Musketries are being fired from all angles at the Mensah Palace as a retinue of chiefs as they pay their last respect to the late Asante Hima. The medical team operating 4 clinics at the Mensah Palace saw 420 cases on Monday alone. They have been called in to provide curative services to mourners who suffered from alcohol intoxication, diabetic and hypertensive emergencies and dehydration, among others. Despite the danger associated with the firing of musketry with live ammunition, some chiefs continue to engage in the practice. An unidentified man in his 30s was rushed to the Komfo-Anokye Teaching Hospital after a bullet hit his right leg with muscles torn in incorrect manner. Dr. Brichum-Nyako is the coordinator of the medical team.
I tell you that for a crowd like this, the medical emergencies that we are taking care of, alcoholic intoxication, some sprains, some injuries, gunshot wounds, headache, some diabetic and hypertensive emergencies, because we have the older age group attending this one. Some people also don't eat and they come, so we have what we call hypoglycemia, their sugar goes low. Some people too haven't drank enough water, so they are dehydrated. These are some of the things that we are seeing. It's not surprising, you hear a lot of gunshots here. Even though they have been told they should fire into the air, some people don't obey instructions. So that is how sometimes these things happen.
Meanwhile, the team has been advising mourners to adopt preventive lifestyles.
What we would say is that if you know you are not well, don't come and stand in the sun just to come and feast on what is happening, or don't come and queue for long. If you are coming, make sure you have eaten, drink enough water. When you get to the grounds, to get water to drink. We have washrooms here, so if people want to urinate, there's a place for them to urinate. So people should eat well, they should stay well hydrated. If they are on any medications, they should take them.
Away from the event, a meeting called by the leadership of the NDC in the Lower Manya Krobo constituency of the Eastern region in a bid to resolve an issue of campaign funds and the poor showing of the party in the just ended elections degenerated into a free-for-all fight. This was after the Member of Parliament for the area Escalating Telabi allegedly got into a confrontation with former Municipal Chief Executive Isaac Agbotete over money meant for the party's polling agents, which was allegedly diverted. Correspondent Maxwell Kudako filed the following reports.
While few of the party members claimed they were given 200 cedis after the elections, majority of them claim they received only 100 cedis, while others say they received 50 cedis for transportation and food, respectively. The discrepancies in the allocation of the funds generated a heated exchange at the meeting, and one John Chawe was allegedly brutalized on the orders of the MP Oklete Telabi. John Chawe narrates what transpired to Joy News.
Yesterday, I was here in the meeting. I was in the meeting. We are in the meeting. Some of the guys they went to took my bike. I said, "Oh, who are those? Some thieves are taking my bike." I rushed there. Fortunately of that, they said MP and chairman said you have to take my motorbike to put in the pickup. I said no. MP have to tell me something before you take my motorbike. Then immediately I'm talking. Then they started beating me, started hitting me. Then I'm shouting that people thieves they are coming there to come and steal my bike, my motorbike. Before people come there, the time I will last. Then I will realize that no. Since today's morning, I appear in Agumana hospital. I was collapsed. I don't know. Now I'm talking to you. I don't know where the bike is. The motorbike.
So who sent the guys to attack you?
MP and Chama. The people said MP and Chama. I know them. One of the guy called MP brother. MP is a younger brother. Tevia. And Stephen.
What's the name of your MP?
The name of Telabi, Honorable Telabi, Ebenezer Telabi.
Meanwhile, the constituency organizer, Sam Colette, accused the Member of Parliament, Oklete Telabi, and the NDC constituency chairman, David Walter Homenu, for the mess. He claims the two went for the money and have squandered it. According to him, each polling agent was allocated 200 cedis, but the two collected the money from the regional office and kept it to themselves.
And before we go, he might be shot, physically, but that does not deter him from having long dreams and also hoping for a better future for himself.
That's the story of 30-year-old Robert Mensah, who's bent on making it in life despite his unusually small frame. He's one of the little people in Ghana striving against the odds. And Joy News' Mahmoud Mohammed Nuruddin traveled to the Bno Ahaf region to speak with Robert Mensah on what sets him apart.
This is Robert Mensah's daily routine. Robert believes he was born different but capable. The big things in life do not deter him. Every day, he joins the millions of Ghanaians helping to build Mother Ghana. He plays his role as a tour guide here at the Kintampo Waterfalls in the Bno Ahaf region. Robert Mensah intends to save the little money he gets for the family.
I didn't do my money or I didn't see my friend, but I just think in my mind that if my money, my mom or my dad didn't have the money, I not been that this. Sometimes I just be happy to everything now. But I just try to work whatever it is to get the money to help to myself.
He dropped out of school at a junior high school due to unavailable financial support.
If I just have someone to help me, I just continue my everything now. But when I need someone to help me. Yeah. I just my some people also.
Robert Mensah does not see challenges in getting a life partner. He intends to marry soon, as he has already found a woman after his heart.
Almost I can save money, because of my junior sisters and junior brothers also go to school. I just take that money to give it to them. I just continue with school. That's why I just only stay small. If my sisters and brothers just complete in school now, I just marry now.
Oh.
That's Robert Mensah and his story. We'll share the story with you again in the course of our program. But that's it for the AM News. For now, we've got the newspapers. We're touching base with Benedict Owusu Dankwa, who is in Gabon later this morning as well. And we're getting online to see what the online portals are also reporting on this day.
Okay, so we have to take a break. When we come back, we'll look at more news and those reviews will follow.